Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you will be fine. Before we get started, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to all of you who have maintained your learning habits. Dear students, in today's lecture, we will learn about the political socialization. And this lecture will cover the characteristics and the factors that is developing political socialization. Socialization, it is the process through which people are taught to be proficient member of a society. It describes the ways that people come to understand societal norms and expectations, to accept society beliefs, and to be aware of societal values. So the students of sociology, they are well aware of the term socialization. It is a basic process. It is a complex process that starts from the birth of an individual till his death, and that an individual, after passing through a series of different stages from his childhood, adulthood, and then manhood, and then his her old age, he learns different spheres of life. He learns about the family, and through the world affairs, through society norms, through society values. He learns about his peer, about the facts in the society, about cooperation, about competition, and then also he learned about government, about political spheres. So it is a lifelong process, it is a complex process, and it is an integrated approach. Socialization makes that person social. How a person will become social? A person will become social if he is a member of society, he is living with them, he is following the culture, he is the social member and participating in different social gatherings. And socialization is the learning process, and it is the learning of social values, what are the people trying to achieve, and it is political socialization. Political socialization is the type of socialization in which the person learn about politics, about government, about state, about power, and about authority. The process in any society in which the acquisition and internalization of political norms, values, and beliefs occurs. It is the process in which a person learns about political norms, values, and beliefs. The political norms are different from one society. Political norms, values, and beliefs, these are different from one society to another society. And also, these norms, values, and beliefs are different in the different stages of the same society. The norms and values these will be different in agrarian society and in industrial society. Political socialization is the study of developmental process by which people of all ages and adolescents acquire political cognition. Cognition is the psychological term for and attention, interpretation, judgment, and memory. How we are interpreting the political process, how we are making them, then how we are making our decisions. Attitudes, these are the uh, tendencies of individual to particular political party, to particular leader, to particular political system, and then their behaviors, their actions, their doings, and the political process. Behavior has been defined by the psychologists as consists of an organism external reactions to its environment, known as internal process like the cognition, the perception, and these things. while behavior, it is practical, and it is the external reaction of our organism to their environment. It refers to a learning process by which norm and behavior acceptable to a well-running political system are transmitted from one generation to another. Political socialization, it is the learning process. The learning process by which norm and behavior acceptable to a well-running political system. The well-running political system it may be democracy, it might be dictatorship, it may be other kind of political system. So that the values and norms that are acceptable in that political system, these are transmitted from one generation to another generation, and the process continues. As we know that socialization is a continuous process. It is through the performance of this function that individuals are inducted into the political culture, and their orientation toward political objects are formed. So, political socialization introduces the individual to the political culture. The political culture, that is the political way of life, that how political what is the role of leader, what is how he is making decisions, what is the role of political worker, uh, what is parliament, what is government and executives, and all these things he has introduced with. The socialization of the individual is affected by three factors: the personality, culture, and society. These three factors interact with each other in social groups and communities, which is an integral part of the individual. Personality. The personality, it is the composition of permanent traits of individual. So, the personality of individual, uh, what kind of person is that? What is his or her gender, culture, and society? All these things, these are reacting, and these are working uh, in integrated way, and it puts effect on the mind of individual, because the sociologist believes that mind is social, society is mental, and mind is social. What are what is in my mind has been developed by my external environment. What's going on in external environment, it compels me to make decision about it. So the structuring of the personality happens in the interaction of these factors, as I told you, and it interacts with the help of the culture into collective community social groups. So factors, agents of political socialization. The factors such as family, media, friends, teacher, religion, race, gender, age, and geography affects the socialization of a member in society. These factors and many other that people are introduced to as they are growing up well affect their political views throughout the rest of their lives. Most political opinion is formed during childhood. The agent, the agents a child surround him, she, where during childhood is crucial to the child's development of future voting behavior, of which has beliefs, has her ideologies. Some of these agents are discussed below. Family. Family, as the researcher Gloss in 1986 recognizes family as a primary influence in the development of a child's political orientation, mainly due to constant relationship between parents and child. The family uh, as the primary source of children political socialization. The family uh, gives the children a position, social identification, a social identification in terms of religion, in terms of race, and in terms of class. And times all these elements become part of child concept, child or personality. So the family introduces him. Now, what kind of family is that? So definitely that kind of person will develop inside that family. Different research shows that the class position of parents affects how they raise their children. Class position shapes not just how much money parents have to spend, but what they expect of their children. Surveys shows that when asked to pick up from list of traits that are most desirable in child, lower class people in United States favor obedience and conformity. In lower class people, there is conformity and obedience. If we are going to government schools, what is there in curricula? At the curricula expects us to be conformed, to confirm the norms and values, and also to show obedience to and uh, authority and government. So there's other things like well-to-do people, the rich people, the upper class people, by contrast, choose good judgment and creativity. Why the difference? Melvin Cohn, the researcher in 1977, explains that people of lower social standing usually have limited education and perform routine jobs under close supervision. They are performing close routine jobs in the lower class people, and that routine job is under close supervision. So he didn't get any opportunity to express himself or herself freely. So, and the boss to whom he belongs also of that class, so he he supervised them them strictly. So he didn't get opportunity for creativity and for choosing other things, so he remained conformed. So after he comes to his family, has her family, so that the kind of behavior is adopted by her children, expecting that their children will hold similar position. They encourage obedience, and many even use physical punishment like uh, beating their children for conforming to their familial norms, the decision he is making. Well-off families, the upper class families with more schooling usually have jobs that 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 demand imagination and creativity. These parents, therefore, try to inspire the same qualities in their children. All parents then act in ways that encourage their children to follow their footsteps. In the same way, we talked about the lower class family and the upper class family. So, what does a middle class family do? Middle class parents typically provide their children with an extensive program of leisure activities, which include leisure activities, sports like travel and music. We look to an early phase of life. Furthermore, after family, school as the second medium for political socialization. Schools in schools, the students, they are getting orientation with the school and bureaucracy, the rules and regulations, the class CR, the class GR, and how to follow the rules, and and they are learning about the state, about the citizen rights. They are learning about the human rights, and they are getting orientation about all other organs of state like the education, the health, and how these activities are going. So school stands as one of the important medium of political socialization. The schooling enlarge children's social world to include the people with background different from their own. In the same way, peer group is the third medium for political socialization. The sociologists define peer group as a social group whose members have interest, social, whose members have same interest, social position, and age in common. It is a group of people approximately of the age sharing similar problems. So they are freely sharing their ideas with each other, and they are developing political views. So peer group become increasingly important influence on political attitudes and behavior, as they are freely sharing things with each other. So they are easily accepting each other. So the political views of a person and that peer group influence the other very easily. Further, the peer group, they have certain rules and regulations for themselves. So that kind of rules and regulation, these are the traits that give way to political socialization. The obeying the group norms, obeying the group rules and regulations, following that rules. These are socializing the peer members uh, politically. Uh, Another medium is mass media. Becker in 1975 argues that media function as a medium of political information to adolescents and young children. Media, uh, from the time being, remained a great source of political socialization. First, the print media, then electronic media. In electronic media, the TV has played a great role in the dissemination of information to the minds of the people. So the media, it tells us about the constitution, the parliament, the political leaders, about the political parties and the roles all these are playing. So the common man, they get inspired from these things and develops and get awareness about these things. And then in the current era, recently the social media is playing that role very popularly. If we see to our country, the political campaigns from 1913, from 2013 to 2018, the Facebook played a great role in the political campaign of Pakistan. So all the political parties, the Pakistan Muslim League Noon, PMLN, the Pakistan Tehreek Insaf, the Pakistan People Party, the Muttahida Qawmi Movement, Pak Sarzameen Party, Jamaat Islami, Jamiat Ulama Islam, Awami National Party, and all they are running campaigns, their congregations, all they are sharing these things on social media, on Facebook, and the people having affiliations with that party, they are sharing their views in their comments. In the same way, religion have a great impact on our life. So the religious people, they have religious ideals, they and religious um, they have religious ideals and religious values, and they are favoring religious parties. So they are getting religious socialization in their childhood. For example, if we observe the students of madrasa, they are favoring the religious parties, the Jamiat Ulama Islam and Jamaat Islami, mostly because of their religious orientation in their earlier time. Then political parties. Political parties, these are the political parties, they are campaigning for their political manifesto, and they are sharing their views with common people about their political objectives, and they are trying to influence the behavior and minds of common people for favoring their uh, with that parties. So, political parliament experience. Political orientation is shaped through participation in unions, collective bargaining, demonstrations, and other forms of decision making. Informal groups of employees exert influence on the attitudes of their members towards political objects and events. And furthermore, our working class is also the source of uh, political socialization. Employment experience. Political orientation is shaped through participation in unions, collective bargainings, demonstration, and other forms of decision making. Informal groups of employee exert influence on the attitudes of their members towards political objects and events. So working class is also the source of also the agent of political socialization. In addition, furthermore, celebrations, different events, the Independence Day, the Defense Day, and the celebration of or the anniversaries of political parties is also the source of political socialization. Different events also play an effective role in political socialization. The observation of birthdays or martyrdom days of national heroes like Independence Day, Vote Taking Day, Defense Day, parties, party anniversaries inculcates a new spirit among the youth and they begin to work for the nation. Importance of political socialization. Political socialization is very important for the maturity of political system inside a country. For example, if we observe the political system of America, United States, so it is it is evolved through time. It is a very uh, long life process for the democratization of people. Political socialization of whole nation takes a lot of time. It is not a 1 year, 2 year, or 10 year process. It is democratization. Democratization means bringing flexibility in our attitudes, in our opinions, for the opinions of others. It needs education. It needs a stable political system which moves, which passes through a time, and it nourishes the attitudes of people, and then it make it flexible. Political socialization, it brings enlightenment among the people. It enlightens the people because the people they are getting information about states, government, political parties, leaders, and different processes. Further, it provides a legitimacy to political system. When the people they are aware, when they are accepting the opinions, when they are accepting a political system, then that system become legitimized because the people are accepting it, because the people are politically socialized. Then that is helpful in the formation of political culture. Political culture is established then after political socialization. If people don't have any knowledge, any awareness about the political parties, about the political leaders, about their political objectives, then there is no political culture. So it is possible after having only political socialization. It prepares the people for political roles. Definitely, when people they have knowledge, information about the political system, then they are ready to take a role politically. Provide link between political system and social system. Our social system, it gives ideas, it creates new dimensions, and then all such things are embedded in the political system. It provide knowledge about provide knowledge about the political matters, the political socialization. After a person has been socialized politically, so he is doing research in it. He is giving his suggestions for the improvement of that system. He is doing other kind of efforts and to socialize the masses or the people politically. It provides stability to political system. The political demonstration in Pakistan and to the political instability in Pakistan. This is because of what there has we haven't taken such a time to socialize ourselves politically, because for 35 years there was dictatorship, and dictatorship you don't have to say in political matters, you don't have a system. So we are observing such things, but it will take time, it will take a lot of time to have a stable political system. In order to properly understand the policies of a country, we must endeavor to understand the process of the political socialization of the country. The process of political socialization also contributes in the evolution, modification, and orientation of political culture in a society. Thank you so much. Uh, if you have any questions, suggestions, clarification, then you need to contact in your WhatsApp group or in your class WhatsApp.